I call this regular session of the meeting of the board meeting to order, and 6:30. Just wanted to say that this meeting is being recorded and translated. Please speak at a moderate pace and enunciate clearly to ensure you speak directly in the microphone. Okay, with that, pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
That's what my inside was, sorry.
Okay. We had a closed session on okay, let's start with roll call. Roll call, please.
Director Hodges.
Here.
Director Rosen.
Here.
Director Hatcher.
Here.
Director Lamnin.
Here.
President Andrade.
Here.
Thank you.
There was a closed session. We discussed litigation, and there was nothing to report on that action. Or we didn't take any action. It was just informational. Going on. So this is my pleasure to have the recognition of outgoing advisory, citizen advisory committee members. And with that, does staff want to say something about the advisory
Good evening.
CAC people?
Good evening, President Andrade and Honorable Board of Directors. Tonight, we'd like to proudly recognize Sabrina Aranda, Luana Espana, Aricia Martinez Johnson, and Deneen Ogbede for their dedicated service as members of the Citizen Advisory Committee during the 2023-2024 term. Luana, Deneen, and Aricia have also served a previous 2-year term from 2021 to 2022, bringing their total service to 4 years. Having completed the maximum 2 consecutive terms allowed by the CAC bylaws, they now conclude their service, leaving a meaningful impact on our community. In appreciation of their contributions and commitment, we ask the board to present each outgoing member with a certificate of acknowledgement recognizing their dedication and service to the community.
Thank you. I think a board member wanted to speak.
Okay. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm glad that you could maybe get your feet wet and get ready to move on to bigger and almost better things for both of you that are here. But I want to say thank you so much for your impact and the contributions with the CAC. It had a huge impact on some of our local parks, some of our projects, some of the volunteer events. I can think of both of you specific instances where things were very helpful, whether it was with the camping stuff at East Avenue, Luana, and Sabrina with a lot of the naming and a lot of the advocacy for some of the local community groups, and then partnerships with the schools. That's what the CAC is supposed to do, and both of you did that very well. So thank you so much.
Any other staff? Okay. No one else? Is anyone?
You look like you want to say something, Director Lamnin and Director.
Well, it's like you guys are awesome, and we're very lucky to have you and your wisdom on our CAC. And I don't want to call it a stepping stone because a lot of our existing board members have come from the CAC, but it's a foundation, and I think that what we have here at HARD and historically have had a wonderful foundation for the community, and you guys were definitely exemplary members of that, and continuing to tell other folks I'm always about advocacy for recruitment, so you guys would keep letting folks know what we have here and send people our direction. But great work.
It's absolutely clear that you're total rock stars, and we were very lucky to have you and your voice and your insights, as Director Rosen said very well. And so thank you, and I wish you all the best in the next adventures, and thank you so much for your continued public service.
Well, also just one thing, I want to echo that, and also congratulations on being elected to your new positions. That's just for the record that this was kind of a stepping stone, and I appreciate your service here. Okay, Jim.
Well, now that there's not much left to say, except that I love you both very much. And I mean that. You two, just the fact that you're here tonight, you're probably the two busiest people that served on the CAC in the last 6 years. I'm so glad that I remember reading your applications and looking at the neighborhoods you are from and the places you worked and the things you represent and work at Ridge Trails and things. I just felt like how blessed are we to have you two come along and want to help us. Where you are now and what your elected positions you just got is no surprise to me at all. I'm so glad we have friends in those places, and I just want to thank you so much for your service.
I'd also like to say thank you so much. It's been great working with you, and your insight and recommendations and all your knowledge has been invaluable on the CAC. Congrats on your new adventure, and also looking forward to partnering with you in the future. It's been so helpful to our community. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course,
Please.
Renee. Come up, press the button, say a few words, and then I'll give you your parting gifts and surprise you.
I just wanted to tell you all how incredibly proud I am to be a resident, a community member, a leader here, and standing by all of you, because the Hayward Area Recreation and Park District has done phenomenal things for our community, for our students, our families. Most of you know I work for the Hayward Unified School District, and without the services that you have provided, our students would not be thriving in the way and the capacity that they are. When I drive down the streets, I see the development of our community and our parks, and you all have been able to do that for us, not just the staff, but the board members that work collectively and as partners to be able to do that for our community. And you have shown us how to be, hopefully in our new positions, the board members that we are thriving to be, and the elected officials that all of us, are searching to have in every other organization and entity. And I just wanted to say thank you. I also wanted to say thank you to the staff. They work so hard in many different capacities besides the Community Advisory Committee. I work with them with Promise Neighborhoods, just different programs and services. And they are some of the hardest working staff that I know. And you should be very, very proud. And just want to say thank you. And Luana, thank you for being a leader. I came in a little bit after she had served for many years, and so she was a leader that I was able to witness and serve next to, and I'm very fortunate and thankful. And so thank you.
Hi, well, I'd like to say thank you. I was actually very nervous to complete the application to be on the CAC. And the first year I had the application, I actually did not submit it because I thought about, would I really get picked for this? And that's something people don't know. So the second year I thought, let me try. And I did. And when I got the email back that said I could be part of this, I was so excited. I live in Ashland now, and my background has been more of the open space. And so I originally started getting interested in HARD is when I started getting the postcards during COVID. And that was about the San Lorenzo Creekway Trail. And I was like, wait, they're not telling the Ridge Trail story in this. So I started going to those different planning meetings, and just to see the type of outreach that was being done in our neighborhood, I was really impressed. I was impressed with the different processes they were taking the community through. And then I was just so excited because I knew that Ashland, where I lived right down the block, was going to be transformed. And these years I've been in the CAC, I've seen the heart the hearts of all the different employees sitting here, from Adrian to Chris to Ann to James to Nicole to Christy, and every single director working hard to really make a change and an impact. And it also opened my eyes to all of those different recreation programs and the connection between the outdoor parks and the recreation parks. So I definitely look forward to continuing the different relationships, working together to see how we can better serve the areas, and just seeing how much that Hayward does for the unincorporated areas, the areas that a lot of times doesn't have representation. And to know that together, all of you, as far as care about the unincorporated areas and care about giving people voice of different backgrounds, it just means a lot to me. And one of the great people I met here is Sabrina, and we were able to be on the campaign trail together and to be in the room and to see someone who I trusted. And she had a plan to go out there and canvas, and it was great to have that type of connection. So I hope that I can still continue to be a resource. I hope we can collaborate on some more great projects, Adrian, and I'm so excited right now to see that public art that is able to be part of the commission. It's on the building in my neighborhood in Ashland, so that was so exciting to be part of that. So thank you. And your insight and what you've done since you've been GM has really changed this community. I love your vision towards equity, and also hiring incredible staff that's taking this part into a new direction. So thank you.
Thank you.
They have a certificate for you and a parting gift. So, yeah. Over everything. Megan has a headache and went home. Don't have to worry about her. I got her. Sorry, I should have told you all.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, maybe by the time. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 phones. Okay.
Come on, Lauren, scoot together like
Okay, gotta be a little bit closer.
There you go. Come on, fall.
All right, you ready? I'm gonna take a couple of this and then I'm gonna take a couple of the other. I'm gonna do it.
So smart, so strong. Now we get one with the staff. Yeah, like, you gotta get one with Adrian. Forgot you guys, you got your picture. Go with Adrian right now. Yeah, Nicole. Up in the middle. Put Nicole in the middle.
First grade.
Just go crush everybody, okay? Seriously. You're smart, you're strong, I love it. Come on, Christy, hop in. All right, I'm more action shot guy. We show him the camera higher so my neck doesn't look so fat.
Thank you.
There. There's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, think about us. I think she's doing. Thank you for. Bless you, you guys. Are
Well, I'm not going
great.
anywhere. I'm going down there.
You are on the foundation down here. Maybe that. Okay. So proud of you guys. Just proud to know you too. We never get up. Girls. Hey. Not yet. That's the new.
We have another presentation. It's my pleasure to announce the Volunteer of the Month, Lisa Hammond, and I have a certificate for you as well. The staff has something to say.
Great,
Maybe
yeah.
Adrian, thank you.
Adrian Lee Bird, Director of Recreation, Arts and Community Services. I'd like to introduce James Calcetta, Recreation Coordinator 2, to introduce our Volunteer of the Month. Thank you, James.
What area is he working?
Check. Thank you, everybody. Good evening and good evening, Board of Directors. My name is James Calcetta, Recreation Coordinator for Senior Programs, and this is Lisa Hammond, our HARD Volunteer of the Month. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to help us recognize Lisa and her contributions with helping our HARD community. Lisa has joined our team in early 2024, and in a very short time has contributed more than 500 hours. She supports our senior program team with lunch service and as a front office receptionist, and also teaches ESL classes at the Hayward Area Senior Center. We are grateful for Lisa's dedication and the positive impact she's making in our community. In addition to her volunteer work, Lisa works with the Department of State and the U.S. Agency for International Development, where she evaluates programs focused on combating human trafficking overseas. Lisa's commitment to improving lives is making a meaningful impact worldwide. In spite of her busy schedule, Lisa enjoys backpack hiking and is currently taking Spanish lessons along with other activities through HARD programs. We are fortunate to benefit from her passion, her expertise, and her dedication. It is with great pride that we honor Lisa Hammond as HARD's January Volunteer of the Month. Congratulations and thank you, Lisa. You want to say anything?
Come on up, say a couple words, Lisa.
I just want to say that James runs the friendliest place in town. I've been in the kitchen doing dishes. I've been a student. I've been a teacher, and I'm at the front desk. And it is just a great place to be. I love the programs. I love the staff, and I love the seniors. And that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you have to get your little picture too. You won't go up and see her. I'll take it.
Thank you.
Jim's like, he speaks really well, and obviously haven't been to a golf tournament, have you? Like, you're screwed now, because now you're gonna be an MC. I don't know. I never know either, so. Okay,
You first?
yep, I'm gonna go first if you don't mind. Okay, we're gonna take a couple, everybody smile. Oh, hold on, my computer, phone's messed up, let's try that again. All right, 1, 2, 3, there you go, thank you.
I'll take a few. I'll take about 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right. Can't believe she had time to come again. Actually, woo, that doesn't make you feel good. Oh, it will.
So we're also going to introduce a new employee.
Hey, good evening, President Andrade and Honorable Board of Directors, Adrian Lee Bird, Director of Recreation, Arts and Community Services. I'm here tonight to introduce Andy Stevens, our new Outdoor Education and Nature Supervisor. Andy joins HARD as he was previously at Sierra Sierra Nevada Journeys, a nonprofit geared toward outdoor science education, where he worked his way up and was promoted to Senior Director of Programs. He supervised a cross-functional team of over 25 professionals and fostered a culture of collaboration and an excellence in program implementation. Andy spearheaded the expansion of some of the key youth programs, secured multiple grants, as well as established strategic partnerships with government agencies, community organizations, and school districts. Andy is known by his supervisors to be passionate, strategic, and highly engaged with youth partners and staff. Members of his team appreciated that Andy recognized their talent and strengths and his willingness to recommend roles best suited for them. Outside of Hard, Andy enjoys spending time with his wife and his son, exploring the natural surroundings of the Bay Area. He is an avid outdoor person, skiing on weekends in the winter and fishing in the summer. If Andy's not outside, you'll find him kicked back, reading a good book, or playing dinosaurs with his son. Andy is on a mission to connect kids and
tiempo con su esposa y
outdoors.
su hijo explorando los alrededores naturales de la área de la bahía. Andy es una persona que le encanta estar afuera.
And Andy is on a mission to connect kids and people of all ages to the outdoors, and we're thrilled to have Andy join our Recreation Arts and Community Services team.
Colorblind. It's great to meet you, board of directors. I'm truly humbled to have this opportunity. Jim, Adrian, I just hope that I can meet the vision that they've put in place to really take outdoor education and nature to the next level. I think what we're seeing in education with our youth is that there is becoming a huge disconnect between the natural world and what's right in front of our face and easy to distract us in everyday life. So what I hope to bring is really an opportunity for the folks of the Hayward Area District to own their outdoor spaces, to really use social emotional learning as a connection point for our youth to engage in conservation, engage in outdoor recreation, understand that there's a place for them in all of these fields. And I really look forward to working with everyone. It's an incredible opportunity.
Thank you.
I want to tell you thank you, and I want to tell the board that, as you know, for me, the outdoor education component of what we do was the first thing we spent money on when we got a little extra COVID relief money. Near and dear to my heart, so important for our youth. And when I'm not gonna lie to you, I got a lot of great staff and a lot of great people. Andy's one of the guys that when we interviewed him, almost flew out of my seat. It was all I can do to contain myself. We said, "Can you wait outside for a minute?" And 2 minutes later, we called him back in and said, "We want to hire you." So thank you. We're glad to have you here. I look forward to the future with you. And I don't know if the board wants to say anything or.
Yeah, we'll start with you.
I want to confirm that when I spoke with Jim during some of our regular meetings, right after he met with you, he was very excited and effusive about his praise. So no pressure,
Yeah,
but
right.
but it sounds like we've got the right piece for this cog, and I'm really glad that you're here.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know where all the kayaks are stored?
I know exactly where they're stored, and I'm going to get you paddles for them too. We don't have paddles yet, but we'll figure it out.
You go like this.
Yeah.
You got life jackets. Sure. Yeah, you should.
We'll talk about it.
We're such an urban, they never looks as the urban recreation, area. And, but you go to some of our parks and our trail systems and you're in wilderness, in a city, suburban environment. So tapping into that with your prowess and with our staff's ingenuity is really, it's just a win-win. And it's not going to say you got the key to the Jaguar or the all the ingredients to make what you want out of it, but the palette is open, and I think you've got the staff and the board. It's like we're pretty good about being collectively awesome in the way we approve, and I think we have the ability to continue to do that with the go hard. I think it's such a great opportunity. So,
Oh, I am humbled. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Very happy to have you. And, one of high on my list of favorite things about HARD, which is of course a very long list, but high on that list is the the dedication to seeing far beyond what is being done, what into what can be done, and far beyond our boundaries and what has been done in the past. This is a community. The hard footprint is the footprint of disinvestment historically and all kinds of things that our community sees far beyond and deserves the very, very best. And this district is that. And so, really happy to have you be part of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I need to say thank you for coming. And, the district has a lot of open space nearby, wonderful spaces. And it's great to have someone that's going to be able to take advantage of that um, and bring a new program or new thinking to the district. So really appreciate that and welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right, he gets a member of the club pin.
Oh, I made it.
If we have one more part of that item, I'm sorry, President
Sorry.
Andrade, but we
Okay.
have promotions to announce. So for the record today, I would like to announce the following employees who were promoted. Jessica Zuniga was clerk two in recreation. I know everybody pretty much knows Jessica, worked at the front counter, was incredible. She now is the administrative assistant in HR full-time and what she really aspired to do. And so we're lucky to be able to give an incredible person the opportunity to stay in the organization and pursue her career path that she thinks she wants to do. And working with Natalie and Jen and Lappin, I mean, geez. Gary Zhao, maintenance and construction foreman. After a long and rigorous process, internal, external candidates, Gary by far proved that he was absolutely the best choice for maintenance and construction supervisor. So we're thrilled for Gary. Luis Barajas, maintenance construction technician one, recently promoted to maintenance construction technician two based upon his skills and abilities, but just also his dedication over time to the organization. Everybody that we're talking about tonight are people who have come here and gone above and beyond in their jobs. The last one, I am super happy to announce that Chaz Cruz, who you may have seen around in holiday lightings, been running building attendants, stepping up. He's a program leader three for facilities, scheduling all the people who work in them, all the events on the weekends, all that stuff. Chaz has successfully worked his way into a promotion to be recreation coordinator too, and he'll be running all of our special events. And as you know, special events were one of the top four things in the community-wide survey. So we really plan on making that boom. The stage is working now. So very happy to promote Chaz Cruz into that position.
Great job. There's a lot of great people moving up. I have a quick question about Chaz. Is he gonna still do the VIP stuff or is that not?
He will, yep.
Okay.
He really enjoys working with the volunteers, so, yep. That will be part
Yeah,
of it.
that was so Chaz stepped in and did the special events. Our special events coordinator has been out for about a year and a half. And so we have now filled the position and then can accommodate them some other way if they come back. But really Chaz has been stepping up doing double duty for a while and definitely proved his ability to do that job. And we like to keep it in the family whenever someone's qualified and wins, and he did. So
He's got great energy and I love how he interacts with people and he's got a big smile on his face all the time. So that's great.
Any other comments? Okay.
Just congratulations, everybody.
Likewise. Okay, we're moving on. Public comments. These are for items not listed on the agenda. Is there anyone here to speak on such items, or on Zoom?
There is no one online for public comment.
Thank you. We'll move on from there to the consent calendar. I believe there's a correction to be made. I was told about the correction on the minutes. This is technical.
yeah, there was
Yes,
a
correctors.
couple errors pointed out and a couple items that have been corrected. So I think that if you didn't catch them or you look at them, or if Director Lamnin sees them and is okay, then I think we may be able to go through those. There was one was one was an item in the minutes that had incorrect spelling of Kelly Aubrey's name. He was in Zoom, so we didn't get his name and it wasn't on the screen, so I appreciate that. The other one was the HLAC committee assignments for the board of director committee assignments. We had an alternate, Director Lamnin, and then Director Lamnin as an alternate also. So we took the alternate part off of that one. I think those were the two that were in these consent items.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Were there any items that board members want to pull from the consent calendar? Director Rosen,
Yes, President Andrade, I'd like to pull 9.5 if possible.
9.5, okay. And anybody else? Okay, so can I get a motion on all items except 9.5?
I'll move as amended.
I'll second.
Moved by Director Lamnin and seconded by Director Rosen. Please, well, so we're going to vote on all the items except for 9.5.
If you vote on consent, then we'll have Mr. Grove, who's here, come up to address your questions or concerns for that item.
Should we vote on those other ones first?
Yeah, it says 9.5 is pulled.
Okay, okay, so let's vote on the other items first. I don't see it here, but I believe it's carried. Okay, thank you. So then 9.5, if you want to speak on that.
I just have a quick question on it. So I saw that Bidwell was in there, and so I just want to be clear. So we're planning for future use, the number of phones that we're potentially going to need with the types of phones. But we're paying for all this now.
It won't be paid for now. I gave a worst case scenario month by month. If the whole district got turned on March, and I think it was March of this month is what I was estimating, that would be the full hit. But no, we're going to roll it out. Once we get the proposal signed, we'll get a project manager from the vendor, and they'll help us come up with a deployment plan. And it'll be the sites that are obviously currently up first, and then Bidwell, San Lorenzo, and Ashland Roots were in the scope.
Those were the three I was going to say. Are they going to come on online bit by bit?
Part of it too is licensing is per user, not per device. So we want everyone to have access to those phones while they're there, but the physical phone, desk phone itself won't be needed until the community's there. But the licensing, as needed, as it's rolled out, and as someone's migrated from analog to VoIP, that's when we would do the actual switch over.
Okay, thank you. That was my only question.
Yeah, I think that because it's a 3-year contract, we'll always bring you the bulk amount and do a 3-year purchase order that'll roll over till it runs out in one action, so we don't have to come back to you. I want to say I appreciate Gary's diligence in this particular one. He's been here for a while now, and he rolled in on a lot of crazy stuff and taking people over and systems and hiring stuff in and all kinds of things. But we got to this point. He's done a great job. He and I would send him stuff, and he'd send me back stuff. I'd say, hey, you ever hear of these guys or those guys? And I feel really, really good about what we vetted, what we're getting, what it's going to cost, and how well it's going to serve us. I think the only other question that you all may have that Director Lamnin asked me also was, what about the landlines? The landline, we will have a certain amount of landline numbers that stay. They stay in the EOC, they stay in my office, they stay in a few places for if we get an emergency and all the cell and everything shuts down. But I think between this VoIP and 11 emergency satellite phones for our critical employees that we purchased a little while back. I don't know if I ever told you it was in my authority, but we had like 4 and they sucked. You'd go outside and wait 5 minutes for the satellites to find the satellites. So we upgraded into some better satellite phones. We have extras. Andy goes out in the woods with kids. They can take a satellite phone with them too. So we're really excited about the work he's done, and more so about how he's augmented our communication to be state of the art.
Thank you.
Great. Any other comments or questions? Okay, can I get a motion?
Oh, so moved.
I'll second.
So moved by Director Rose and seconded by Director Hodges. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Written communications, item number 10. We have 2 letters. Staff.
Okay. Got a really cool picture of 17 at the golf course on my phone. Marker. Let me get us to where we are. Get through the consent stuff. Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Board of Directors, General Manager Jim Wheeler. We had 2 pieces of written correspondence that came to us, but since the last meeting, one was addressed to President Andrade and myself, and copied to Supervisor Miley, and it was from Kathleen Candy. She's a resident in Five Canyons and basically wrote to us about her concerns about Lake Ridge Park. The letter is in front of you. I personally visited that park on that Jimmy Carter Day when I was here, and no one was here to bother me. It was great. Went up there, looked around. The park could use some love. I would not say that the park's unsafe. I would not say that the park's horrible, but I don't also think it meets the standards of what we'd like our parks to look like. So there is a meeting scheduled, right, Nicole? Thursday? Thursday at 2 p.m. Chris, Nicole, Megan, and I think that's it. We'll be meeting with Kathleen and 2 other neighbors to talk about that park, gather their input. I know that President Andrade went up to the park. He looked around. He and I had a very good, lengthy conversation about things that could be done in that park. So I look forward to them going, listening, nodding, thanking, and then we'll come back and figure out what to do. It's a pretty cool park actually, and the Canyon Ridge Trail runs right through there. So it's got a really ugly road and asphalt connector from one part of it up into the other. You walk across the street. There's a nice, I don't know if the homeowners take care of it or if the East Bay Regional Park District takes care of it because there's a trailhead there, but there's a really nice park, and then across the street, we have a sign and some bushes, but it doesn't look quite so nice. So we're gonna try to, I gotta be honest, if I had a house up in that neighborhood, I'd drive by it going, why does that look like there's weeds and stuff and everything else looks great? So we're very excited about soliciting community input on that, and we wanted to share that letter with you.
Director Lambden?
Thank you. Yeah, so I believe this is the letter that mentioned the CSA, the Community Services Assessment that
Yep.
they're paying, and I appreciated your response, Director Wheeler, about that. And I'm wondering if it's worth digging in to see if they think they are paying in to
I can,
benefit the park, then should we find out where that money's going?
I can
And
positively tell you that that is a community services assessment district. It was reviewed by LAFCO in the last municipal service review, and it is landscape and lighting money. It is not park money.
so we don't qualify under
No.
landscaping?
No,
Okay.
well, it's just not part of that agreement. We have Columbia Association. We exchange checks, we exchange work. We have never with Five Canyons, and I did look it up based upon your question. It's a CSA for landscapes and lights, medians and lights.
Medians and lights,
Yeah,
okay,
street landscaping. When
okay.
we say landscape, that's what I mean, sorry.
No, I appreciate that clarification, and it sounds like that as needs
So
to
there-
also
we
be part
will-
of that conversation with her.
We'll make sure we let staff know that so they can take that information with them to make sure they know in no uncertain terms that their fees aren't going towards that park. And that's why we struggle with the maintenance of it.
Yeah, if they want to vote a little bump there, we wouldn't say
I
no.
appreciate that.
Thanks.
Any other comments?
Yeah. You know, in the letter, it also says that the Boy Scouts were forced to clean the location, and that was a little harsh because that's, it's community work. But I mean, it might be not the best park for a VIP, but I think, some community, type of activity there to, get some build in, you know, their involvement also, if there's a misconception that their fees are going into that CSA type situation, they kind of, talk to them how we can make this more of a kind of a community type cleanup. But it's an odd park. I was there about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and I always thought it's kind of strange.
It's a little different, but
Yeah.
again, to make sure that we understand the Five Canyons Park and that park are not we do not receive funding from that CSA in any form that we're aware of. Like, if I'm wrong, I will eat a big piece of wrong pie, but I don't think we are, and so we'll do the best we can with that one.
Director Rosen?
I just want to chime in. My understanding, because I've looked at local landscape and lighting districts, is that one is a unique thing in Castro Valley. It's the only one, and it was part of how that Five Canyons project was done. It was to allocate for the roads and the landscaping along the roads. It's a unique thing because there were the county didn't want to pay for the upkeep of the roads, basically. And so they're self-assessing for it.
And you can see in some of those areas, it makes sense why we're looking at hillsides with exposed PVC white pipe that does irrigation and stuff that we wouldn't do, but someone probably put in an attempt to use those fees to keep it green and fire safe, so.
This is just informational. There's no action on this.
No, there's no action on these. It's just informational items, things people have written to us.
Okay, great. And then there's nothing else. We can move on to the next letter. Roy
Okay.
Taylor.
Honorable Board, Jim Wheeler, General Manager. So this letter is from a gentleman named Roy Taylor, who wrote to me to tell me that he thought it was ironic that we, as a public agency, have people on advisory committees for other public agencies, and that he did not feel that was appropriate. In this particular case, it is the unincorporated Alameda County Pedestrian and Bicycle Advisory Committee. And they advise there's a county group advising. We got involved in this, as you know, between the San Lorenzo Creek Trail, then working with bicycle coalitions and other groups, Safe Routes to School, everybody in the world to bring together to get all that grant money for those trails. Our representative is Michael C. Williams. He is our Trails Program Manager. And when he wrote to me, I wrote back and said, well, AC Transit and BART have someone on this advisory committee also, and he was kind enough to inform me that he had written letters to their boards too, concerned about these advisory roles. I bring this to you tonight because as the general manager district, I don't see anything wrong with us having representation on a county advisory committee. They can't even take action. They're in an advisory role. They're not making policy, or they might tell someone, hey, planning commission or transportation commission, what do you think? But they're not really an action oriented committee. They're in an advisory role. So I didn't see anything wrong with it. And before I wrote back to Mr. Taylor to tell him basically, I think it's okay. I wanted to make sure that we think it's okay. So if someone has a concern or a reason they don't think we should be on that advisory committee, I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I'm going to write back to him in a very nice way, just telling myself and our board disagree, and we like the fact that we communicate well and are involved in these decisions because we have a huge stake and millions of dollars in trail money coming in. So.
I just want to say that I appreciate you bringing it to us to ask for our opinions because I've attended some of the BPAC meetings in the past, and one of the main complaints is that there's not enough buy-in from other agencies and other partners. I would not be surprised if the rest of the BPAC does not share his sentiments. So I'll leave it at that.
So do you believe there's a prevailing feeling that why are public agencies involved in stuff that us bicyclists in the county should?
I believe it's the opposite. I believe that what it is that people want more of us at the table.
Oh, I thought you said that you thought people did not want that. It's not the common opinion of the group shared with Mr. Taylor.
Yes, I
Thank
think
you.
that he's in an island unto himself.
Okay.
Director Lamden?
Yeah, I concur. This is exactly what we need to have happening, that all the agencies need to be talking to each other, and having the person who is most related to that subject area is exactly why we do that. And this is by no means the only place where we on purpose have collaboration. I mean, the shoreline, MTC, on and on, stop waste, all, you know, we do this all the time. So I concur that this is a very good thing.
And I think it would be fair to note that our particular representative to this advisory committee is speaking at national conferences on trails and equitable trails and working in neighborhoods. You heard Ms. Espana today talk about the kind of the same thing, how we're tying in our trails, and it's the person we have on the committee is our person that I don't think it's singular to just bicycles or pedestrian ways. We have a San Lorenzo Creek Trail Master Plan. We have a Foothill Trail Master Plan. We have an open space and trails master plan. Trails are kind of what we get. And again, I go back to our communities, our district-wide community survey, and in the top four, when I referenced earlier special events, it was number 3 or 4. Number 1 was open space and more trails.
Any other comments? I just wanted to say, I believe this is statutorily correct. I mean, we're not doing anything that's incorrect or illegal or, not. So, and with that, I think this is just advisory, as you said, advisory. So it's a way of communicating. Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much for your insights.
Okay, public hearings, none. Unfinished business, none. New business, park naming 20478 Mission Boulevard. Staff?
Good evening, Honorable Board of Directors and President Andrade. Nicole Espinoza Roa, Assistant to the General Manager and Public Information Officer. The program and policy, when new properties are acquired by the district, they need to be named. Following the facility naming policy of the district for 20478 Mission Boulevard in Hayward, 3 name options have been presented for that site. The Program and Policy Standing Committee, Facility Naming Advisory Subcommittee, formed in January of 2023, consists of 2 Board of Directors members and 3 community members residing near the park location at 20478 Mission Boulevard. Facility Naming Advisory Subcommittee meetings were held in January, February, and April of 2023. The committee collaboratively generated numerous potential names for the new park. They fulfilled their duty to provide the Board of Directors 3 potential names for the park. These names include Unity Park, Four Corners Park, and Eden Area Park. These 3 name choices were subsequently featured on postcards, both in the attachment of your packet on A and B, produced in both Spanish and English, and sent to the district residents residing within the radius of at least 300 feet from the park. The naming information was also sent out via Nextdoor with a survey link to the same location. Residents were given the option to express their preference by completing an online survey or contacting the district with their feedback. A total of 43 individuals participated in the survey, and the voting results were as followed. Unity Park, 53.5%, Four Corners Park, 27.9%, Eden Area Park, 18.6%. Based upon the public input, staff recommends that the Board of Directors select Unity Park as the park name for 20478 Mission Boulevard in Hayward.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Peter Rosen?
I just want to, I'm going to look down at Rick and think back on some of the old Eli meetings that we had about the park across the street. And I remember the discussions about the open space, and I remember Mike Barada and some other community members advocating strongly for Infinity Park, which is what we were going to call which is what they wanted to call the park across the street. Yeah. And Unity Park, I think, actually is very apt for this, and it's close to that. And I think it unifies the location of where it is, and I think that Mike would actually approve. In fact, I think he did like this name when we talked about it. So I like what it does, the location of this park and what the goal of this location is. I think Unity summarizes that very well. So I'm very happy about it.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Director Hodges?
Yeah, I've struggled with that for a while. I really do. Well, thank you. I really thought there's something better than unity, and then I realized that says it all. The only thing I wish we'd have another pole with it, with the arrows going to all of our parks, because that corner literally touches 4 of our communities. And
No offense, Director Hodges. I loved the idea of Four Corners Park, but it's not my park to name. But I think a sign kind of like the sign, for lack of better, maybe you remember MASH, or like Chicago,
exactly.
4,062
Maybe not
miles
all
or whatever.
Up and down.
It might be a cool place to put a sign with some of the local parks pointing all
Yeah.
over it as a park feature. Oh, I do need to apologize too. I did not tell you Director Tiernan was not feeling well at all and went home, so.
Any other
Are we gonna
comments?
vote on this or?
Yeah.
Director Hatcher?
Yeah, I didn't say struggle with this. I think Unity Park is, it makes sense, that, it is a really, besides being the 4 corners of our park, it's really just a, evolving area with large parcels with a lot of work that's going to be done in there. And I think that it's, for running the community garden for so many years there and living on Hampton and in Sheridan for 26 years. I'm a big geography person, so it was kind of like, I was kind of thinking of like the Eden area is kind of, such a great, but it's kind of overused. And then I'm always like, the people are going to go, all right, I'm going to I'm going to UP, so I kind of think about that. And I agree. And thanks for Director Rosen kind of bringing it up, during the Eden Area Livability Initiative, which spanned over 12 years, which brought us the REAP Center and sidewalks and fire stations, community centers in our area, and a lot of community, over 300 people together in a big charrette. This is a crux of an area, and I think that when you look at what we're doing, and I think what is going to happen in this zone, Unity, again pulling it full circle, it makes sense with that trail there, endless opportunities. And so I'm excited to get this another checkbox saying we're done with this, because let's get it printed, let's get it built, and we'll keep moving forward. So that's my
Any
comment.
other comments? Questions? Anyone from the public? Nope.
There is no one online for public comment.
Okay. Well, I think we could use a little unity these days.
Yeah.
So. You want us to wait for you? Okay. Can I get a motion then?
I'll move to accept Unity Park as the name for 13.1.
And do I have a second?
Second.
It was moved by Director Hatcher and seconded by Director Lamnan. If there's no more comments, please vote. Okay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Could we have done that with an attachment?
How do you mean?
I know it's a little late now, but I didn't want to interrupt. The attachment would be having the what is it, 7 arrows pointing to the different communities.
Well, that could be a design, that's that.
We're voting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just voting on it.
Okay.
That could be the cherry. That could be the cherry on top. So I just as an anecdote, I lived across the street myself when I was a child. The house is gone now, but it was by the chestnut trees behind the car lot. And so it's been, I don't think I lived 26 years there though, but I did live there for my formative years, and the Coke plant was running. And so there was no place to walk to except Meek State, which was fine. But so it's really nice to see something happening there. It's for the community, and it's going to draw a lot of people. I think the programming there is going to be great. So, okay, with that, any other business? I think that was the only new business that we had.
Yeah.
So so this is other business, brief informational items from board directors and staff. Who would like to start?
guess I'm in the starting position over here. Feel so left. It's nice. So opposite of right. I attended with Director Lamnon the Hayward Youth Commission meeting, which is always a highlight meeting for me to attend. I did get up and just speak briefly. I did hand out some rec guides, which I always carry with me because I think it's, everyone, we know they all get mailed out, but it's almost like it's such an appreciated opportunity for them. They just are so excited to see them because the way I describe it, this is what really kind of drives what we are and what they can do with our district. And I did pass out also applications for the scholarship opportunity, and I think that's something to connect that concept with them. Was able to again recognize Israel Mendez, who was our volunteer recipient here, and also on the Hayward Youth Commission. So it's again a growing responsibility of that group. The dedication they have, the clarity of their visions is awesome to be a part of, and I'm just really excited to watch Jen lead that. I think she does a really great job. Kind of organizing the kids and then also letting them speak and have their voices, clearly heard. I did attend, and I'll just say that I attended the Sustainability Committee for the City of Hayward. No real comment from there, just that I did attend that. I also did attend the EMAC meeting, notably a very long presentation from Daniel Wilson-Beck from Public Works, who talked about all the things that Public Works does, as well as flood control. So it was a very long presentation. I hadn't quite seen it put it in that clarity of all one presentation. So it's, you think of everything they do around here, as well as their 7 drawbridges that they have jurisdiction over. So it was a very detailed. I did leave a bit early, but I just want to say on that agenda was also the BART Transportation Oriented Development, which I did not see, but I'm kind of curious because that does concern me in the area. And those were the main meetings I attended. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Lamnon?
Sure, thank you. So yes, attended the Youth Commission. They are looking at doing a night market featuring youth makers in the community, which I'm really excited about, and a youth mental health component to that. Went to Luana's swearing in and participated with President Andrade on the HASPA meeting, and then was really inspired. Went to the youth education. The YEP program has a set of youth leaders that they are paying to work in. So these are juniors and seniors in high schools in Hayward Unified who are being paid to work YEP programs in the elementary schools. And they're the leader there is one of the co-facilitators for the Youth Commission, and he's really interested in what is that career pathway. So of course I mentioned our summer employment program as a sort of natural next step and real overlap in terms of what skills we need, what skills YEP needs, et cetera. So seems like there may be some opportunities to continue supporting all of the great work we do. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Director Rosen?
I think I attended the Alameda County Special District Association meeting, and they talked about a few things, but not a lot that was totally relevant to heart, as it was about mosquitoes coming from. There was some, and part of it was it was East Africa. There was some mosquito infestations that they combined with mosquito abatement, Alameda County Mosquito Abatement combined with Rotary and some other agencies are spending, like $30,000 to buy a couple tractors that basically turned a lot of swampland into, or standing water land into farming land. And what that did is it's generating income for people. But where it related to us is that people aren't coming back here infected with dengue fever, some of the other things. And they were talking about how that they found Zika in the fairgrounds like last month. And so they were talking about that and basically about how relevant mosquito abatement is. But that wasn't a big deal for us, I think. But
and we shouldn't be worried
Well, so to speak to the fairgrounds, it was like one little small outbreak that they caught immediately, and they were very confident that it was taken care of. And that's part of the deal, is that they are mobile and on point. They were there immediately. It was, I guess, because a lot of them hitch rides the mosquitoes hitch rides on vehicles or standing water, and something, I guess, had come through the Central Valley, and they found it on a motorhome or something immediately. So it's good. That's why they inspect all the vehicles that go through the fairgrounds.
I am very proud of our friends at the Alameda County Mosquito Abatement District. Ryan Klausnitzer as the general manager. There's some very, very smart people out there doing some really great stuff. So I'm glad you found that topic interesting and applicable to us.
Director Hodges?
Yeah, I just want to say I was proud to see so many of our hard people at a swearing in of Anna. And yeah, and I think that was a positive showing, and hopefully seeing how that's one of your buddies. No?
Dr. Alvarez and I have been professional acquaintances for about 20 years. So yes.
That's a buddy.
So that's, I'm on the public record. I'm not gonna call the city manager my buddy publicly, but we know each other, and I do know that her parks background, recreation background could be very beneficial for the district.
Great. Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I went to that same swearing in ceremony, and it was pretty elaborate and well attended. So it was good to get our face out there and let them know we're here. Okay.
I'm really not offended by the fact that my swearing in wasn't a swearing in. But it's okay.
It was just sort of, here you are. Okay, and then I attended HASPA along with Director Lamden, and advocated for, and she did as well, a little more money for the data control, including a recurring contribution for the data center that's going to be built out there. So they were developing a letter for the city council, I guess a recommendation letter in terms of mitigation for the center, and we advocated for a higher amount. And hopefully something will happen. We also had a presentation by Flood Control regarding they're doing a new assessment area for flood control. The benefit would be that it would remove a lot of housing from the FEMA floodplain area if it goes through. So that would be a good thing. But it's for parcels. It's voted on by parcels. And anyway, they were explaining it. And the question was, well, where are you going to connect? My question was, where are you going to connect into the sea level rise? What are you planning for sea level rise? And of course, they didn't take immediately, said they weren't doing anything for sea level rise except, but I said, but you're still going to connect. What's your planning? What are you planning? And they were saying it was going to be a 3-foot high sea level rise was their match, So that's as far as we got with that. But it is interesting because it's likely that we'll have flood conditions in the next 30, 50 years, whatever, 100 years. So it's good to plan for that. Who knows? I just wanted to say I did go to these 2 parks that were on the agenda tonight, and it's always good to go out and see what's going on without a ceremony, and just to see how people use our parks. And it gives you kind of a different perspective sometimes. And that's it for me. Staff?
Good evening, Board of Directors. James Wheeler, General Manager. So a couple things going on. One is that next Tuesday is committee meeting Tuesday. At this time, the only item we have to bring before any committee would be a preliminary discussion in program and policy about the alcohol policy. So that one will go on. And again, I remind you, don't ever feel left out, because those standing committees, the ad hoc committees, liaison, those are all places where things percolate to bring into study sessions for you. And I do believe that we want to just bounce some things off that program and policy committee. And people might be like, no, it's great how it is. And then we have to kind of figure out another way to address it. Like 3 people in the room here nodding, going, let's do that. And I go, that's the majority of the board. We'll put it on the radar. But well, you're going to start program and policy. So that'll happen Tuesday. Right now, there are no finance items. We are getting ready to start the budget meeting process. My first budget meeting's Thursday morning. So we don't have a lot to talk about in finance. We're still working to close the year. I'm not taking your report, but we're still working to close a couple large complex project type items from last year to be able to get an accurate number. And the capital and planning, Megan's not here, but we spoke, nothing has changed from the last one. So we'll do something on the next one. It's just been projects, and it's the kind of a cold time of year for projects. There's no real significant new breakings, any breakings. And then the last one would be personnel. There's nothing to come out of personnel. They're moving along, and they're fully staffed, which is exciting. And going down the road, we are getting ready to enter performance evaluation season. And so tomorrow we have our friends from LCW coming to do a session on evaluations for anybody that supervises anyone, as well as we have made some significant changes to the evaluation form, taking large boxes with 5 or 6 items under like communication and breaking them down into 3 or 4 so we could get more specific on skill improvement. We're getting rid of the meets, does not meet, meets or exceeds. We're getting rid of all those words because we're telling people they meet the standard, and they're wondering why they don't exceed the standard. And so the words are just getting in the way of the message. So we're going to go to 1, 2, 3. And 2 means you are a fantastic employee. The board training Friday. I have a question. The question posed to me by our clerk was, would you like to go from 1 to 3 and 3 to 5, or would you like to go from 1 to 3 and 3:30 to 5:30? Would you like a break in there? We'll have refreshments in the room. You'll be listening to a speaker. You know, we will take BFLAB, body fluid level adjustment breaks, but I don't know. It's up to you. So I was going to ask you what you thought.
Does anyone have an opinion?
Tell me what you think, and then I'll take the action. I'll decide the action and let you know what we're doing, so you don't have to take action in announcements.
I mean, in trainings, it's like get in and get out, you know, there's no hanging out there. So I think it's quicker out by 5.
So if I were to say we're going to start at 1 o'clock and we're going to roll through these 2 trainings and there'll be refreshments and bathroom breaks, is that okay? And potentially we could be done even before 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But this is your state mandated AB 123 ethics training, and this is your mandated sexual harassment training.
Sooner the better.
Okay. Moving right along. We're waiting on paperwork from La Vista. We're waiting for the school district to approve a PSA for Laurel School. And you discussed this closed session item tonight, so that's on here. And I will be out of the office February 4th through the 7th. I will be here for the board meeting on the 3rd, and then I'll be gone for the week, and I will leave someone in charge, but nobody has stepped up and volunteered yet. So we will be holding someone soon. Wait, am I still in there?
Well, it's
Testing. Lights on, but nobody's home. All right.
plugging away.
Mr. Peterson.
Good evening, Honorable Board of Directors. Chris Peterson, Parks and Facilities Maintenance Director. One quick update for you tonight. Just let you know we're rolling along in the FEMA process. We've got some initial engineering studies back on both Taper and the trails. We will be submitting them for review to see. We might have a couple trigger spots that would require CEQA. We feel that most of the spots along the trails are above the high level flood mark, and which we could get a Cat X for. So my plan is once we go through that process, submit, get a better idea if we have to change some of the engineering or some of the design on that. And then we will set up a study session with you guys and run you through it, kind of break it down site by site and give you all the details. But we are moving along and
Rip the bandage off, Chris.
so the initial repair cost for the study was just over 3 million total. Our portion, we did apply for mitigation on those, so would probably be about 6%. We would need to do the initial output and then with FEMA reimbursement. And that'll be part of the study session, is to have you to go through each site to figure, to look and see if some of the sites haven't changed a lot since we had the damage. And, you know, if we can get by with just let them stay natural. And then the other sites that have shown more damage since the initial, and just those that have a higher priority. So we actually ranked all the sites as well.
I think initially we had, after 2017 and then 2023, we had almost 32 sites on our trails. The 2017s, some of them in 2023 didn't change. So we, actually the plans that we looked at for the 18 mitigations along the Wally-Wickander Trail at a cost of a little over $3 million, 6% to be, everything to be reimbursed, but 6% back to the district, everything from FEMA mitigation funds, because we applied. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but I do want to tell you in advance that this project and maybe the Medrano Taper project could involve us putting out $3 or more million and then waiting for reimbursement. Fortunately, our reserves are well stocked to cover that, and that's why we have reserves. The money will come back with a small amount taken out, but joking with Crip, like rip the Band-Aid off and let's get that news out there, because it's something to think. I think it's something to know as we go into budget year.
Okay, yeah, Director Rose.
So I just wanted to clarify, and I think General Manager Wheeler clarified that. So this $3 million roughly to repair the trails, we would end up at the end of the day paying roughly 180,000 roughly. Yeah. Okay. That was my thought. I was like, wait a minute, are they?
The
Yeah.
message was $3+ million.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. I was worried it was the other way, that we were going to only get 180,000 back. And I was like, oh my God. All right. Thank you.
Just also, there is a lot of work that's already been done, and that's not really included in these additional work. So it is still an investment in the district, but we'll look at, I think, a comprehensive look at the numbers as before you are asked to make those decisions.
Great.
Okay, you have more? Okay, Adrienne Lee Bird, Director of Recreation Arts and Community Services. I think since our last meeting, we had a Volunteer in Parks VIP event at Centennial Park with a small group of volunteers. They actually cleared out 73 bags of foliage and trash from that park, so they did a huge job. This past Saturday, we had our Magic Time family event at Sorensdale with 60 registered youth and their families, so a total of 130 people at our family event on Saturday. And we also had our DMT Presents performance of West Coast Blues Society at the DMT, and that was a really lively event with folks dancing in the aisles. So fun. Thank you.
Ms. Roa or Clerk Briseño?
Just a reminder, our Board of Directors Awards will be a week from Friday. You guys should have all gotten a copy of the script. If you have not, please let me know and I can make sure you get that. And all of the information that was shared today will come out to you on your general manager's newsletter that should come out on Friday. And thank you.
Nothing to report.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. The next meeting, pardon me? Okay, the next meeting is Monday, February 3rd at 6:30 at the Brent District Office. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Les.